competitive world, average won't cut it. The Success Launch Point shows you how to stand out, deliver massive value, and rise above the crowd. With on-demand courses, expert coaching, and a community focused on growth, you'll accelerate your career and your paycheck. It's time to level up. Check out modernobserver.com/launchpoint.
The Senate votes to end the shutdown. A civil war in the Democratic Party. Trust in government hits 50-year lows, and more. Welcome to the Raw Naked Truth. I'm your host, Eric Lopkin, and here's the news you need to know. House Speaker Mike Johnson has called all members back to Washington, D.C. for a vote on the Senate's deal to end the 41-day government shutdown, the longest in U.S. history. The Senate advanced the plan Sunday night in a 60-40 vote, with 8 Democrats breaking ranks to join Republicans. But final passage was delayed Monday when Senator Rand Paul objected to hemp-related language important to Kentucky growers. Johnson said the House will vote within 36 hours of Senate approval. Many Democrats expressed outrage Monday at their 8 members who voted to open the government without getting the health care subsidy extensions the party had demanded, fueling new calls to oust Minority Leader Chuck Schumer. The senators who voted yes, none up for re-election in 2026, defended their decision, arguing the shutdown's toll had grown too severe. President Trump has indicated he'll sign the measure once it clears Congress. Democrats are blaming Schumer for not prolonging the shutdown. In reality, it could have been much shorter. A group of moderate Senate Democrats told Minority Leader Chuck Schumer 2 weeks into the shutdown they were ready to vote to open the government. "We let him know what we're doing," said Senator Jeanne Shaheen, the Democrat from New Hampshire, who led the bipartisan talks to find the compromise. Over a dozen House Democrats spoke on a party call, with the vast majority slamming the deal, according to sources. Meanwhile, Vermont Senator Bernie Sanders announced his endorsement of Minnesota Democrat Peggy Flanagan for the Senate. It is Sanders' latest effort to push the party further left. The Supreme Court on Monday said it will not revisit its landmark decision that legalized same-sex marriage nationwide, leaving intact the 2015 protections granted to couples in Obergefell versus Hodges. Justices rejected an appeal brought by Kim Davis, a former Kentucky county clerk, who was held in contempt after she refused to issue marriage licenses to same-sex couples due to her religious beliefs. The court declined to take up her appeal without explanation and without any noted dissents. Former French President Nicolas Sarkozy was released from prison after serving only 3 weeks of his 5-year sentence. Sarkozy was convicted of conspiring to seek campaign funds from former Libyan leader Muammar Gaddafi, was sentenced in September, and is now free pending his appeal. The U.S. military conducted 2 more strikes on alleged drug smuggling boats, killing 6 people. Sunday's attacks, announced Monday by Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth, brings the death toll to 76 from 19 attacks in the Pacific Ocean and Caribbean Sea since September. A new Gallup poll shows nearly 5-decade lows in trust in government among the American public. Only 32% of U.S. adults reported having a great deal or fair amount of trust in the legislative branch, compared with 41% for the executive branch and 49% for the judicial branch. President Trump pardoned dozens of allies who had been accused of helping attempt to overturn the 2020 election, including lawyer Rudy Giuliani and former Chief of Staff Mark Meadows. Getting prosecuted for challenging results is something that happens in communist Venezuela, not the United States of America. And President Trump is putting an end to the Biden regime's communist tactics once and for all, White House Press Secretary Carolyn Leavitt said. The Food and Drug Administration says it is removing the black box safety warnings from all hormone therapy creams, pills, and other treatments prescribed to ease the symptoms of menopause and premenopause. The prominent warnings said these therapies could raise the risks for some cancers, dementia, heart attacks, and strokes. Doctors urged the FDA to remove the warnings. The FDA today is announcing that we are going to stop the fear machine steering women away from these life-changing, even life-saving treatments. FDA Commissioner Marty McKay said during a press conference Monday. The FDA is taking action to remove the black box warnings from estrogen-related products. This is based on a robust review of the latest scientific evidence. That's the Raw Naked Truth. You can catch every episode of the Raw Naked Truth Daily News Brief, as well as our sister podcast, Carnivore Radio, with news analysis and commentary, and the rest of the Xvadio Podcast Network at xvadio.com, the Apple Podcast app, YouTube, Rumble, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Audible, Amazon Music, and other platforms that respect freedom of speech. We'll see you next time.